Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our new Instagram Live with Wilson Daniels. Today we're very excited because we have a very important winery that we are going to introduce you. It's the newest addition to the Wilson Daniels portfolio. And in this case, we're talking about a Portuguese winery. Actually, it's Quinta da Corte. We'll have with us today Bruno Ramos and Marta Casanovas to introduce us to Quinta da Corte, the winery. We're going to talk about the history, we're going to talk about their vineyards, we're going to talk, of course, about them as well, and a little bit about the products that they have. So let me go and try to invite them to our Instagram Live. Again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. My name is Marta Belfa. I'm the Spanish and Portuguese specialist for Wilson Daniels. Let's see if we can connect with Marta and Bruno. As I was saying, we have them invited today to talk about Quinta da Corte and to talk about this legendary winery, actually a winery that produces wines from Douro as well as Porto wines. We are very, very excited. Thank you everyone again for joining us. Good morning, by the way, for the people that it's on the West Coast, and good afternoon for the people that it's here on the East Coast following us today with the Instagram Live. So let's see if we can find Marta and Bruno, because they are our special guests for today. As I was saying, we're going to talk about the newest addition to the portfolio of Wilson Daniels, Quinta da Corte, a winery that is located in the heart of the port region of the Douro and the port region in Cima Corgo, which is right in the heart. We're going to talk about the winery that has legendary sites. Actually, the first plantation in this winery was back in 1814. Imagine, over 200 years of history in those vineyards. It's a very, very small winery that produces very high-end products, especially like they produce two red wines, two still red wines in the region of DOC, Douro, and they produce as well Porto wines. As I was saying, the first plantation was there in 1840, and here we have Marta Casanova with us with a beautiful background. Hello, Marta. Can you hear us? We have a little bit. Hi, how are you doing? Can you hear us? I think. Hi, Bruno.
It's coming.
Can you hear us?
Now...
I think we have
Hello.
a little bit of technical difficulties. Okay, so they are having a little bit of difficulties with the connection. You know, like with the live things, it always happens that sometimes the connection is not as good as desired, but we are going to solve it very soon. Can you hear us, Marta and Bruno? We have a little bit of technical issues.
Yes, yeah.
It's not the image in the background, it's not too good.
Yeah, we can barely see you. We can see a little bit like the image, it's not very good, but now it seems to be a little bit better. Maybe if you can put the phone a little bit closer to you, now we can see Marta perfectly. Hi, Marta.
Hi, hey Marta. Yes. Now,
how are you doing?
I think it's fine now. Fine.
Yes.
Fine.
That works. That works. We cannot see Bruno. Bruno, you have to go closer to Marta.
I'm also here. Yeah, I was leaving the place for the view because we have a beautiful and fantastic landscape. So I was putting you next to the landscape. But
Perfect.
during the video, we will show you a few pictures and a few. You will see the view, so we will put it to you.
Perfect. Well, as I was saying to all the people that it's right now connecting, I was introducing you. I was telling them about the historical vineyards in the case of Quinta da Corte, a winery that is located right in the heart of the Cima Corro, right in the heart of the Port region and the Douro region. And here we have Marta Casanovas and Bruno Ramos. Bruno Ramos is actually the export director for Quinta da Corte, and Marta Casanovas is the winemaker, something that is actually very special because it's one of the only winemakers that it's producing port wines as well as red wines from the DOC Douro. So please, for the people that it's new and haven't met you yet, like, can you talk a little bit about yourself? Who is Bruno? Who is Marta? How did you start in the wine industry? How did you start producing these beautiful wines in Quinta da Corte?
My name is Marta Casanova. I was born in Maia, near Porto. I made my studies of agriculture engineer in Vila Real. It's in the Douro Valley. And then I specialized in the wines and the vineyards. I started to work in the Douro region in '99. So I've been working more than 20 years, always making wine and port wine.
Very good. So you have
sorry?
You have a very long experience, I see.
Yes, I think. And
you start very young.
Yes, I was very young. I started here in Quinta da Corte in 2013 when Philip bought the Quinta, and I was invited to do the harvest 2013. And since then, I was developing all the project of the Quinta, the renovation of the cellar to the port wine cellar, the building of a new cellar for Douro wines, and also the manor house for tourism, a boutique hotel.
Yeah, because you also have a boutique hotel in the heart of the vineyard, actually, with an infinity pool and a beautiful views of all those very old vineyards.
Very beautiful, very familiar, with 8 rooms, and we invite you to come, if you can, to visit us.
Yeah, that will be amazing. And what about you, Bruno?
I study winemaker here in Vila Real, the University of Douro, and then the masters of the OIV around the world to discover the world of wine. And then I'm being focused on Quinta da Corte since last year, joined and start the commercial department export for Quinta da Corte. And it's a great pleasure to be here with you, with Wilson Daniels, and very soon also presently, and to be visiting you and to say hello to all of you. We all miss the travels and the meetings of each other. So
very exciting. I see that there is even people from Paris right now following the Instagram live. So we're like broad streaming to all the world, not just United States, but also, of course, there is people watching us from Portugal, from Paris in this case. So thank you very much, all of you. And thank you for Marta and Ramos and Bruno for being with us today. As Bruno was saying, actually, he's going to come visit the US market in October. So be prepared because we're going to organize a great agenda with a lot of tastings, and you will be able to taste all those delicious wines. And thank you very much, of course, for inviting us to visit Quinta da Corte. For all of you that can do vacation and maybe travel to Portugal, you have been personally invited by Marta and by Bruno to visit this historical winery. So why is Quinta da Corte such a beautiful and unique winery in the heart of Porto? Like, tell us a little bit more about the story of the winery.
Yeah, for sure. For the people who never visit Douro, we are in a historical region. It was delimited and the market in the 1756 by Marquês de Pombal, and this is where the history begins, where he delimited and the terraces, the stone terraces, it's heritage here, very common here, but it was a long way to build. In Quinta da Corte, we are in the heart of Douro. We say it in the Golden Triangle, where are all the quintas. We have very good neighbors. The quintas next to us are some of the all very, very good also. So we have a historical place dating the first register of the vineyard in 14th year. So it's really the heart where the history in Douro was the beginning.
Yeah, that's definitely a long time growing vines in this very unique location. Also, in the case of Quinta da Corte, as you say, you planted the first vineyards back in 1840. Obviously, that after the phylloxera, everything changed. But even after the phylloxera, we're talking about very old vines. So when was after the phylloxera the first planting of the vineyards, which you actually used to produce the port wines?
Yeah, so the phylloxera in the region was between 1863 until 1872, and in the region was very, very severe. So our old vineyards are all in stone terraces. Is the new model after the phylloxera. Actually, it's one of the pictures more communicated here in Portugal because we have one of the most beautiful stone terraces, and next to us there's the pre-phylloxera terraces. So this is the key date, and we maintain that work until today, worked by horse, of course, and this is a very grateful work to respect the old vineyards and to keep this longevity on this. We say it's our biggest treasure.
It is definitely a treasure. It is historical vineyards and a very small plot as well. So in total, how many vines does belongs to Quinta da Corte?
The total vineyards, we have 25 hectares in total, and 12 hectares are old vineyards. So it's very rare to have 50% of our production coming from old vineyards, and this is a characteristic from us, very unique in the comparing to the other quintas.
And also the location, as you say, you mentioned that you're located in the heart of the Golden Triangle. What makes it like so special? Why it's the Golden Triangle where Quinta da Corte is located? It's the climate, it's the fact that you have like very old vineyards, it's the fact of like the soils. Tell us a little bit more for the people that's not that familiar with that Golden Triangle, what it makes such a unique wines and such a high quality wines in your case.
Marta, we had a few breaks in the connection, but concerning the location, in Douro, the vineyards are all classified by letters. So the best classification is A, and the worst is other letters. We even don't know it because we don't have it. Quinta da Corte is 100% vineyards classed A, coming from 100 meters altitude until 300 meters altitude. And I'm sorry because we have some problems in the connection.
No, don't worry. I was actually asking you because a lot of people might be not that familiar with the concept of the Golden Triangle. That what makes that Golden Triangle in the case of your location of Quinta da Corte, why it's so special. It is the weather, it is like how you planted the vines, how you work on the vines, it's the soils, or of course it's a mix of all the combinations. So if you can introduce us a little bit more about how it's the weather, how are the soils in the vineyards, which kind of labor you do. You just mentioned that you use horses also to manage the vineyards.
Yes, we have, more than a half of our total area of vineyards are old vineyards, and it's all work by hand and by horses also. The work of the soil is by horses, like the ancient years. And I think the triangle, the heart of the Douro is where we are, because it's in Douro, it's the most balanced sub-region. The Cima Corvo is the most balanced between, we have alcohol and acidity in the balance. It's not too much of everything like in the other sub-areas of the region.
So Bruno have just said that there is a difference of almost 200 meters between the lowest side of the vineyards and the highest point, which reach up to 300 meters. And Marta, you go very often to visit those vineyards to see the evolution of the grapes, and of course, right before the harvest. So you must have like very strong legs because you go up and down
Yes.
almost like every week.
Yes.
And we have
I
here
don't need,
also that.
I don't need a gym.
Yeah, between
I
all
don't
the
like, I
walking,
don't need.
you have enough, like
Yes.
you have enough gym, obviously, going through all those vineyards. And for the people
Yes.
that doesn't know, Marta, it's not just very unique because she's one of the only female winemakers in the region. And as we just learned, she started working in the wine industry, actually in the port region back in 1999. So it's a very long experience. But what most of the people might not know is that Marta has some very special vineyard assistants that are going with her also to check on the grapes and to check on the vineyards. So Marta, who are your assistant winemakers or vineyard assistants?
Okay. Yes. Um, well, my team, it's very important because I normally say the success of our wines, it's not mine. It's our 5-star teams that work every day for the same goal, to have beautiful wines. And of course, I have 3 VIP assistants. They are here with me. It's Boris here, Boris, Lori, and Tintucão is there. They are very nice and very helpful. They'll help me a lot with the work in the vineyards.
That's very important. So Marta has not just an excellent team of winemakers that are helping her produce these beautiful wines, but also she has very special vineyard winemaker as Boris that we can see right now in the image. And his other, which are protecting, of course, Marta, and they are protecting also the vineyard. So you can see it's a big family in the case of Quinta da Corte. Also, Quinta da Corte, besides the fact that the vineyards are very old, and you produce very high quality wines. Again, you produce 2 red still wines under the DOC Douro, which is the Princesa and the Gran Reserva. And also you produce different port wines. And I have here that the production of your port wines still has been made in a very traditional way. Still has been made in the lagares, and you have a very particular and unique system how you do the pigeage of those grapes. So once the grapes are entering the lagar, how it's the first step of producing this porto? And can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I think it's super interesting for all the people that it's watching us right now.
Yes, well, all our ports are made in a traditional way, in granite stone lagars, and the pigeage is made with the people who work here, and also with our tourists that visit here and want to join us, because it's like a party. We have music, and it's fun to do the work with music, and it's very beautiful.
Hard work coming to fun.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And so we make it's food trodden, and then in the middle of the fermentation we stop the fermentation because the port is, we have sugar and we have alcohol. So in the middle of the fermentation we add alcohol to stop the fermentation. And then the port wine is going to our cellar in the barrels, in the oak barrels, to stay there for many years.
Yeah, because you have very old products. You have like obviously the LBB, which is the late bottle vintage, and then you have also the port 10 years, the Tony 10 years, the Tony 20 years. But I had the great pleasure to have a tasting with Marta and with Bruno, and I learned that their products although they are labeled as 10 and 20 years, they are actually much older than that. Because how old are like the oldest ports that you have in the winery?
Well, when Philip bought the Quinta in 2013, he bought with a stock of some ports and some old ports, because this Quinta always produced the ports. Till the 60s, it was only for the family, so we have very old ports. After the 60s, they stayed each year with a few barrels, but they started to sell to Delaforce, Croft, and Taylors. And then when Philip bought the Quinta, we start bottling the port wines. And it's these wines, these old wines, that I use to make the blends for our 10 years, 20 years.
And older.
So,
We
and
have
older.
very older ports
Yes.
in the cellar, but that's part of the secret of Marta.
Yes.
So we will know it one day if she.
Maybe one day we send you a very, very old port.
That will be great. Well, so far it's a great Instagram live. Like we have been invited to spend the time in the private small boutique hotel that is located in the middle of the heart of Quinta Corte. We have been invited also to press those grapes to produce the port wine, and now we're being invited to taste these beautiful old port wines that are like the secret of Marta, that are in the heart of the aging cellar, because also port has a very particular kind of shape on the barrels also for age, right? You use the traditional pipas to age the port wines. For the people that might not be that familiar with that shape of barrels, can you tell us about the story, how these pipas were created and why it's like that tradition being maintained in the region? We have a little issues listening to you, like the volume, like the connection, it's might not be that good right now.
We will just change a little bit.
Okay.
Perfect.
We see if it's good, just to see. Well,
That's perfect.
The work with the wood.
Now we can start.
The work with the woods is also very important. It's older are the woods, and we can keep it very old. To the long term, they age very slowly, the port wines. So it's normally castanho, Portuguese. How we say castanho?
Castanho.
Well, it's not
Chestnut.
chestnuts. Portuguese.
Chestnut.
From the forest here in the north of Portugal, and this wood is more, let's say, more closed, so it ages slower, and it's a very it's also very lucky for us to have very old oaks with very old port wines aging here in Quinta, because this is part of the secret of the blending of the ports. Marta, she have a very good stock of very old ports to do these incredible ports we are now tasting.
And of course, you're Portuguese, so I didn't know that Bruno teach me that when you are in Portugal, if you open a vintage port, the bottle has to be drink within the same day or within the same dinner. So I was actually pretty shocked, because I was telling him, like, if we are three of us, we have to finish the bottle. And he was like, yes, that's the tradition. If you go to Portugal and you open a vintage, because it's something so rare and it's so delicious, of course, it's something that they cannot go to waste. So this is the tradition in Portugal. If you are there, if you go and visit the Quinta da Corte, remember, if they open a bottle of vintage port for you, you have to stay and you will have to finish the entire bottle. So which is actually one of the products that we have here at Wilson Daniels with the portfolio of Quinta da Corte. It's the vintage, which is the year that we have currently.
2015. It was our first vintage of Quinta da Corte, and it was only 202,000 bottles produced.
So we can see it's a very, very small production product. So definitely we're going to treat it very well as it is something so unique. But besides obviously the vintage, you have also other products. We were just saying you produce two still wines, which are the Princesa and the Gran Reserva, and you produce also the Tony's and the late bottled vintage. Can you tell us a little bit more also about the products? You use always your own vineyards, those 25 hectares. How do you distribute the grapes depending on the product that you want to produce? Can you tell us a little bit more about the products that you have at Quinta da Corte?
Well, normally we use the old vineyards for our port wines because it's mixed varieties. We have more than 100 varieties in our old vineyards, all mixed. So we use that for our port wines. For Douro wines, we use the grapes from a vineyard. We can show you.
Yeah, we can show you the
you.
vineyards now.
Let's see if we can get a good image of the vineyards. Like since we cannot travel to Portugal, Portugal is going to travel to us.
And in these vineyards, we go pick the grapes for our Douro wines because it's a vineyard with in like 35, 40 years. And it was from the 80s that in the Douro we started to plant it by variety, separated by variety. So we can go search for Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, and it's better, it's easier to make the blend that we want. We have all the vineyards identified with a SIG, it's a system identification, geographical identification. All the vineyards are in plots. Each plot may have one variety, but like the orography, it's like that. You have different exposition in the same parcel. You have different exposition. So before the harvest, it's a lot of work to say this plot is for this wine, for this tank, and it's a lot of work before the harvest. After the harvest, you can picking the grapes and okay.
After the harvest, it's just like drinking port and a little bit more relaxing after doing the pichage in the lagares.
Yes, because the most of the work in the vineyard is to plan the harvest. If we have a good plan, even if we can change the planning during the harvest, but we have a plan. And then it's easier. You can go there, because I taste these grapes and they were good for this, and it's.
We can see that Marta, it's very focused on the vineyards, and that's very important because at the end of the day, having a high quality vineyards, having a very special location, like in this case in Quinta da Corte, that will make the work of Marta in the winery a little bit easier. It's never easy, but of course a little bit more easier. Once you have high quality grapes, then of course the result, and with the hands of Marta, it's going to be amazing. And I saw that Bruno was like drinking from a glass. So can I see, can our viewers see what you're enjoying today?
For sure, we welcome you to share a glass with us. Of course, we were here to give toasts to you and to all of you who are with us with Tony, 20 years old.
Wow! So definitely, it's a very special occasion for all of us.
A toast to all of us. We hope you like to be here with us, and we appreciate very much to be here with you. So yeah, we opened the special 20 years old really to toast with you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much to everyone that has connected and have seen the interview with Marta and Bruno at Quinta da Corte. For all of you that you haven't had the chance, don't worry. We're going to put the live video also in the website and in the Instagram from Wilson Daniel. So you're going to be able to see and to discover a little bit more about Quinta Corte. And today it's the first time doing an Instagram live with Quinta Corte, but it's the first of a lot of them. So definitely every time we're going to be able to enjoy and to discover a little bit more about this historical vineyard, historical winery like Quinta Corte. So Marta, Bruno, thank you very much for being with us today. Marta, thank you to all your vineyard assistants, and good luck, good harvest this year, and obrigada.
Obrigado. Thank you. Saúde.
Salud. Salud. Thank you very much, everyone. Again, you're going to be able to see the Instagram live on the Instagram of Wilson Daniels, and please follow us also to discover a little bit more of Quinta Corte in our future Instagrams. So, obrigada, everyone.
Bye.
Obrigado.
Thank
Bye.
you.